Hello! Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. The cards I'm using for this week are The Art of Love Tarot by Denise Jarvie, artwork by Tony Carmine Salerno. See if we can get that all in there and then get it a little closer so you can freeze frame and get the spellings of that if you want. There is a website on the back. It is blueangelonline.com. There's even some verbiage there if you're interested in it. That's for the tarot portion. And the Oracle cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and at the bottom is the website hayhouse.com. And lastly, I do use dice for this. They're from amazon.com. This is what they are. They're metal dice. I use the 20 dice for the major arcana. 21 is missing, obviously, but I just work with it. And then for the minor arcana, I use the 4 dice, the 1 through 4, to decide which element. So I start with fire, earth, water, air. That's how I do it. Fire, earth, I think so. And then whatever that lands on, that's what I go with. And then it's a 1 to 12 dice. 1 being the ace and 12 being the knight. I just work, it doesn't have the queen and king, but I roll with it. It works for me, in case you're wondering. All right, thank you for tuning into this week, and now on to your read. Hello, Aquarius. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. This reading is valid for whenever you come to it. That being said, what do we have for Aquarius? Starting right off with the Wheel of Fortune and a new beginning. Okay. I think it depends what it is, if you're going to like it or not, quite frankly. That's it for that. Okay, so having faith in somebody else. Okay. Let's just see where this is going. Starts off with the 3 of Swords. Can we get more about that? Because I feel like this is mostly about, I like to know what I'm getting into, which is a rational thought. I feel like that's where we're going with this. Sun card in the past, with the 2 of Wands, half in, half out. It's hard to trust people for whatever this is, at least to this level. All right, we're just going to roll with it. It's already making me ooh. If this is hitting, you have done this before where you've let somebody else make a decision. It didn't destroy you. Obviously, you're still here. But when the decision was made, it's like maybe I had faith in somebody that I look back on and I shouldn't have. They made a decision that was best for them, not what was best for me. And I just believed in them, so I went along with it. And I'm looking back going, I really wish I didn't do that. This all seems very rational to start with, right? Where are we going is a good question. Where are we going? So the Wheel of Fortune shows up with a new beginning. All of this is related. I feel like you already realize that. The wheel turns, options come in, and I feel like I'm trying to hold things off until I can decide what I want. The difference between the 7 and the 9 of fire, in my opinion, this is fire, the stars are fire. The 7 is holding the outside out. It's like if you have a fence, you're guarding against predators from getting in. That's the 7. The 9 would be whatever's on the inside of the fence. You're trying to protect from from getting out. You're safer inside. Stay inside. That's not what this is. This is where you're kind of I don't know what's out there, so I'm trying to protect myself from what's out there, and I feel like I want to know more about what's going on. Right? Makes sense. Again, I keep feeling like taking the rational route is actually not going to help you, which that doesn't make sense. Because Not Aries, you are Aquarius. You're built on intellect. And I feel like I'm asking you to make a movement forward that would be more spontaneous and less thought out, which could be more of a fire type feel, which there is some fire here. You got the Two of Wands here. It's coming up where you're going to have to make a quick decision anyway. But it's the information you have to make that decision. You can't rely on it, is what I'm getting. So it's like making a rational decision turns out to be irrational when you find out the truth later. It's the speed at which something is happening. Do you make good decisions? Obviously. Do you make informed decisions? Preferably. But it's knowing, how do you know this though? How do you know? Somebody's going to tell you. It's hard to trust. I feel like whatever the situation is, it's hard to trust. It's hard. It's a lot to ask. Nine of Pentacles and the Chariot reversed. Somebody's going to try to help you. They're not really... I feel like one of the reasons it's hard to take the information from this person is because they don't really have a very strong sense of loyalty to people. But it's kind of like... they don't have a strong sense of loyalty to people. They just don't. I don't know what to tell you. They just don't. Even though somebody doesn't have a strong sense of loyalty, it doesn't make them a liar, but I can definitely see where that would make you uncomfortable. Like why are they telling me this? Because they're not loyal to the company. They're not loyal to their friends. They're not loyal to other employees, at least not from what I've seen. So it's kind of like, oh, I don't know if I can trust this. It just makes me uncomfortable. They know stuff, though, and they are telling you the truth, but it's hard for you to believe that. It's kind of like, yeah, but I've seen other things with this person. I question their loyalty very greatly. Is that the Nine of Pentacles? Is it the Nine of Pentacles? That's Pentacles, yes. They're very self-sufficient. They're very self-assured. They look out for themselves, and they do well. They do well for themselves, and they are helping you. They're giving you information. The reason they're doing this is because they see that you're smart, and they're hoping that they help you, you help them later. This is because they look out for themselves. Their loyalty is to themselves, which ironically is not bad. It's just they're not loyal to other people. So if this is like a business situation, if this is a work situation, they're not loyal to the company. They're not loyal to their coworkers. They're not loyal to the people to help them move forward. They're loyal to themselves and themselves only and what they want. But it doesn't make them a liar. It doesn't make them a bad person either. But the reason they're telling you this is because they want you to move forward in a good way. That way, when they need help later, it's more likely that you will help them because they see that you're really smart and that you read between the lines very, very easily. That's why they're doing that. This is a strategic move forward. If you try to go forward with your intellect, kind of like, yeah, but what I've seen of this person, I don't really like that, and I don't really trust them, and other people feel like they're like, you know, enemy number one or whatever you want to call them. I think my chances might be better going this way, and you just head that way. It's like you're going down a fruitless path. The imagination with the Ace of Swords is kind of like, the Ace of Swords is leading you that way, but the imagination is telling me there's nothing there once you get there. It's hard to trust this person, really hard. I've said it from the beginning. I can understand why you'd be like, I don't know about that. But I'm getting the choice that you need to take is going to give you a lot of stress. Ironically, it is the direction you would like to be true, you just don't trust it. And it's hard to trust the person who told you. This is a hard one. I feel like this is hard. Is there anything that can like back this up to help? Why do I keep saying Aries? Are you dealing with an Aries? You might be dealing with an Aries. They can be brutal, so the person who's helping you could be a little bit on the brutal side. Because I keep noticing that I want to say that word. This is definitely an Aquarius read, though. Yeah, it's the longer route. It's definitely the longer route. It's something you're going to have to wait. It's going to take longer to come to fruition. A lot more work it feels like on this route, but it's definitely the better one. It's kind of like, do I really want to invest that time if it's not going to give me what I want? It's hard. It reminds me of like choosing a vocation, or like if you're going to college and you're choosing a path that's got like, well, you can do that, but it's going to take you 6 to 8 years. Or you can choose this one, and it'll take you 2, and then you can decide from there what you want to do with it. But like, these are 2 totally different paths. Like, one is psychiatry, and one is like woodworking, just to make it different. You know, totally different things. They're not going to really move. They're not going to really merge. If you take the woodworking, 2 years you can start making money at it. Then you can decide from there where you want to go. But if you go to psychology, you're going to have to go the whole 6 to 8 before you really can get where you want to be. And it's like you want to be where the psychology is, because that's intellect, which is where we're going with it. It's not that you don't want it, it's that you don't trust it. That's the kicker. It's not that you don't want it, you don't trust it. And it's a slow, arduous journey. That's the one that's going to give you the happiness you're looking for. They're also, another thing they're trying to give here, to give you confidence to choose what could actually serve you best. You'll make it work, whichever direction you choose. It's just ending up where you actually want to be. So by choosing the longer path, it's kind of like if I choose psychiatry, within the first semester, possibly 2 at the most, you'll know that you fit there. Or at the very least, you would know if you didn't. And you'll see a lot more, and it'll make better sense. It's almost like taking the gamble on that 1 year and going, you know what, it cost me a year to find out, but I can go back this other path. It's a 2-year path. Sure, it slowed me down, but that's not so bad. I can still do that. Versus like going down this 1-year path and going, you know what, I'm thankful I chose it. And continuing on and going, you know what, this did work out. It's like it's like you're gambling with 1 year. It's the not wanting to go backwards. It's the not wanting to choose incorrectly. It's having a hard time trusting the information as it comes to you. But it's fruitful. I'd like to give you something more to stand on with that. I'm thinking it's not going to show up in your path. They're just trying to help you make a better decision, something that you actually want, versus something you're like, well, I should take that one, that makes better sense. That's more logical. So it's like choosing what you want versus choosing what's more logical, which I still like. Aquarius is really smart. They take the smart path. So I feel like this is asking a lot, but hopefully this is just informing you and empowering you to make a decision that you actually end up where you want to be. That's what this is supposed to do. Hopefully this does that. All right, I think we're there. So I'm going to shut this down here. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much again for watching. Have a great day.